Okay, try again. Now we have volume. Okay, cool. Hopefully that volume is good. Let me know if I need to change anything. Sorry about that. I didn't check everything before I went live, but now we're good. I think I've got everything ready. I tried to mostly get everything ready. I have my wig head here. I've got my wig stuff set out that I'll show you guys bit by bit. But yeah, tonight we're gonna start remaking my Zelda wig. Scout Venus, thank you for following. Okay. And I'm experimenting with new camera angles and stuff, so hopefully this works. I have 3 different things that I'm starting with. I have 3 different colors because Zelda has a bunch of different like highlights and lowlights in her hair. And I actually have my original wig sitting around here somewhere, so I might need to grab that in a little bit. But yeah, tonight I am going to be remaking it, and the reason why is that my original wig is just kind of falling apart. It had layers, the wig that I started with, and so as I continued to wear it, various hair would start sticking out and coming out, and it was just a huge mess, and I was having to cut out a bunch of hair every time I wanted to wear it, and it wasn't any good. So instead of continuing to use that wig and struggle with it and clean it up, I'm just going to be starting over, and I have all new materials, and I'm excited to try them out and see how it goes this time. So hello to everyone who's already here, hanging out in the chat. Well, thank you, I Speak Pew. Excited to see how the weft sewing in goes. Yeah, so I have wefts in 2 different colors, which is this highlight color, which is a blonde color. It's called Custard, and that is from Arda. Well, all of it's from Arda. But there's some custard wefts. I also have some darker wefts that are in a color called Coffee. And these are both the silky wefts that are like, I guess more tangle resistant, you could say. And that's really useful for really long wigs. My base wig is a Toriel, which is a lace front wig style from Arda. And this is in warm light brown. So this is the main color for my wig, and I'm going to need to brush everything out a little bit as I go, but it's just, you know, as you handle it, it kind of creates small tangles and things like that. But anyway, here is my base wig. I'm really happy with the color. I really like that Arda colors are already blended, so like this has kind of a natural looking highlight and low light throughout it, and that's true for all of their colors. But I like to take it one step further when I can, and especially for this style, Zelda has like really pronounced highlights. So that's what I'm going to be doing by adding these other colors to the base wig to get more of the color variations that you see in my original wig, which is not, I have to move my finger, it's over here where my thumb is pointing on the side. Yeah, so that's a picture of my original wig. I'm going to be doing another wig that basically looks like that, only will hopefully hold up better. Thank you, Death by Moogle, and also Scout Venus for following. You guys are welcome here. I'm going to get started by putting this guy on my wig stand, which I just have a clamp that is mounting this to the table. So as you can see, this is just like clamped onto the edge of my table. Hopefully this is going to work where you guys will be able to see what I'm doing, but I can make adjustments if necessary. This is a lace front wig, which is important for my style, and I might have to cut it a little bit to fit it onto this wig head. I don't want it to split or anything like that. Well, let's see how it goes. Oh yeah, I think that's going to be fine. The wig heads are like smaller than actual heads. I just don't want to put too much pressure on the lace, but yeah, that's going to be okay. It's not good to actually put it on your head, and they warn you about that on the website. Alright, so there is that. This has a pretty pronounced widow's peak hairline, but it's going to be pretty much entirely covered by the crown, the front of the crown, so it doesn't really matter what the hairline looks like. So, you know, you can get this. This is the Toriel, which is one of the longest wigs that Arda offers. They also have an Arwen, which doesn't have a peak like this, but it's curly, so it's kind of a trade-off whether you want to spend the time to straighten it or not. But I thought this was sufficiently long, and it matches the length of the wefts that I'm sewing in, which is really all of the length that I'm going to need or be able to use. So I'm just going to start by not putting it in the front. Okay. I'm gonna put it in the sides, these pins, not through the lace itself, but through like the side of the wig, I guess, where it's got like the actual elastic part. So that way it's not putting too much pressure on the lace itself, because I've done that with heavy wigs and it kind of, it kind of makes it a little bit more, it can put too much strain on that. Let me check my comments here. Hey everybody. Oh, daughter of Ungoliant. I learned how to pronounce Ungoliant because I watched the Hobbit movies. So now I know. Cool, cool. Oh, hey, Melinda Chan is here. Hi, Melinda Chan. And she has a suggestion for those looking at this wig, that the widow's peak can be toned down a little bit by plucking out some of the hairs along the front, which I could certainly do, but I don't think it's really that necessary for since it's going to be covered. But just FYI, in case you want a wig like this and end up needing something less of a widow's peak. So I just have one of these like really wide tooth combs, and I'm just going to kind of comb it out a little bit starting from the bottom so that I don't create tangles. And I'm not going to worry too much. I'm just trying to get like it mostly smooth before I start peeling up sections and sectioning it off. Oh, I am going to put at least a couple pins at the top, which may or may not get in the way of adding weft, so I'll just have to be careful with that. But I'm going to put it kind of in the very top of the wig, so that way it's supported on multiple sides and it's not putting stress on the lace itself. Alright, cool. So that's pretty much smooth and ready to go. I'm going to be starting with the darker color probably, because I want that to be more evenly mixed in throughout the wig, and then the blonde highlights will be specifically kind of on the top and the front where they're the most visible. And I'll kind of, I guess, be a little bit more particular with the placement, but everything else is just going to be more uniform looking. Yes, I just watched the Hobbit movies for the first time, and I actually haven't seen the third one yet because I ran out of time. I watched 2 of them back to back, and I'm watching the third one now, or I will tomorrow probably if I don't do it tonight, depending on how long I'm streaming. And they're okay. They're not as good as the Lord of the Rings movies. I was a little disappointed in that, but, you know, still very, very pretty to look at and fun stuff. All right. So what do I have here? I've got most of my wig styling tools kind of set around. I'm gonna grab some clips. I should have more of these, honestly, but I just don't. So let me investigate how these wefts are set up in here. I have not actually used a tutorial before, but they're very pretty. Doves and Sparrows, thank you for following. Welcome to our wig stream. Okay, so it looks like they're arranged, the wefts in this wig are arranged like kind of in rows going back this way. So with that in mind, that's going to be perfect for our kind of like half ponytail that Zelda has. So let's see how far back they start and where I can start putting in wefts. I've just got the long end of this kind of pick comb that I'm going to use to separate out the hair. Okay. So this has maybe like an inch of lace, and well, I mean, obviously the shape is creating different widths at different points. But for most of it, it's like an inch. and that's where the actual wefts start. So I'm just going to find that place and separate things out as cleanly as I can to try to avoid making tangles, but I'll most likely just be brushing it out when I'm finished and not worrying too much about like small tangles and stuff while I'm working, because it's gonna happen. It's part of handling wigs, and you kind of want to minimize how much you're handling and brushing it and stuff, because you can create more issues if you mess with it too much. But so that is parted. I'm just trying to keep it relatively smooth. So I kind of want to place these as close to the top of the hair as possible, because that's where they're going to be the most visible. So the final makeup of this wig is going to be this color of the base wig is going to be like the most prominent, and I have less fiber of the other colors, so I want it to be kind of on the tops and outsides of the wig where it'll be actually visible. Queen Riot, thanks for following. Hi Queen Riot. Ashley Riot. Nice to see you here tonight. Okay. So I'm still working on getting this part correct. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, that's about as far as it goes to right here. So these strips are just going to be kind of along the front hairline, and then I'm just going to be adding wefts in a way that follows the pattern of how they're already sewn in, because otherwise it would be a nightmare. So here's all of that. Let's see if I can just use this guy. And like I said, I'm not going to mess with brushing it and stuff too much. I'm going to try to resist the urge, because I always want to just like make it smooth and brush it out and make it all pretty. We don't want that. I'll just smooth out the very top with this Wigo brush. There we go. And that will give me hopefully less compulsion to just like touch it a lot. I'm gonna put my phone on silent because it's distracting me. Alex and Nathaniel, thank you for following. How's it going over here? Nulia's asking if I ever thin out the wig or remove wefts from the base wig when I'm adding new ones. I certainly have before. I'm not going to do it this time, I don't think, just because Zelda's hair is supposed to be really thick. If it is too much by the time I add all of this, then I'll remove some for sure. But at least at the very front and like kind of the hairline where they're put in like really more densely than they are for the rest of it, I'm going to keep all of that there. And then depending on how heavy and just how much it gets to be, I might end up removing more from like the body of the wig itself. Well, nice to see you, Adam Baum. Thanks for coming by, even if you can't stay. All right, cool. So I'm going to open this up. They come packaged with these twisty ties to keep everything in order, which is conveniently doubling as a cat toy, because my cat loves these. But he knows better than to actually eat them, so it's okay. Hi Bomze, asking how am I? I'm doing great. I'm twisting this the wrong way, but other than that, fantastic. There we go. So you want to be really careful when you're handling these long wefts, because any wig fiber this long is going to be prone to creating like little tangles. If you just open it up, it's gonna go everywhere. So I'm going to really quick grab a measuring tape and then just measure out the lengths that I need and pre-cut them so I'm not dealing with tons and tons of hair like draped over everything. So it looks like just about 5 inches is going to be perfect. So now I will gently unfold these. And measure out 5 inches along the top band. All right, so we've got that clipped. Now I have to separate it out without causing a mess. Let's see how this goes. It's gonna be better if I lay it down and separate it without. Trying to do all of it at once. Okay. Cool. All right. Let me just hold this with my teeth. All right, that is laid out behind me now. Okay. So this is all nice and intact and not tangled and stuff, so that's cool. I'm just going to position it where I'm going to put it. And I have pins for this. Cool. So I'm gonna let that hang out for a second and set up my needle and thread. Some people glue the wigs, the wefts in. I like to actually stitch them whenever I can, just so that I know that I can move them if I need to, or if something goes wrong, I can fix it. Also, I just wouldn't want any kind of like hot glue or anything to melt in a wig in Atlanta heat. That sounds not fun and not good. So I'm gonna go the tried and true stitching method. How's it going, everybody? Oh, thank you, Potion Seller. It's very kind of you. I love this like hoodie shirt. I wear it all the time. Alright. So I got this thread conditioner, which is Thread Magic. I've never used it before, but I think it's supposed to make everything smoother. And then I got some thread colors that actually match my hair colors pretty well. It doesn't really matter which color I use, but I'm going to go with this darker one. You just want to use some kind of thread that's close to the same colors as what you're using, so it doesn't, like the hair color, so it doesn't stand out a lot or anything like that. Alright, and then I've got a curved needle. You can do this with other needles, but this helps a little bit when you're trying to stitch something that's flat against the head especially. So I'm just going to, before I make a knot, run it through this stuff and see how it goes. Sorry, let me put it right over here so you can see a little bit of what I'm doing, which is just rolling it through this thread conditioner. This is supposed to make the thread less prone to tangling when you're hand stitching, and I need that, so seems pretty good so far. Oh, congratulations on your anniversary within One Tiger. Happy anniversary. Jackie's working on cosplay things. Awesome. Who else here is working on costumes or art or something creative? Let me know. Maker Geek is asking about lace front wigs in general and why does it come with so much lace? What does it do for the hairline? Well, the lace itself is what makes the hairline look more natural, because then you have individual hairs coming out of it instead of just the rows of hair, which are a lot less natural looking. The reason why it comes with so much lace is because you have the opportunity to customize the hairline and the shape of the hairline. And depending on what you want to do with it, it can be very dramatic, and in some cases you can need that much lace, especially for like cosplay purposes where you're not necessarily always making like normal realistic styles. In my case, the lace is going to be super useful because the crown for Zelda is going to attach directly to the wig. And in fact, I want to show off the wig that I already made. It's not in great shape. It's not like wonderfully beautiful or anything like that. But I wanted to at least show you guys what I'm trying to do. And that will give you an idea of why all of the extra lace can be helpful. Lokias, thank you for following. I'm going to step off camera and find that wig, and I'll be back in just a moment so that I can show off kind of what the intended final product will be. Okay, I'm back. That was fast. Oh, I just realized I have extra windows open that I'm getting like Facebook notifications, and I can't have that, so I'm closing that. Otherwise, we're good. Okay, we are back. My other Zelda wig is in this bag, and I really should have packed this up better, but I had a feeling that I wasn't going to use it again without some TLC. Okay. So this guy, I kind of just have to wrap it up in itself, and there's probably a better way to transport it, but I'll try harder with this next one. Alright, so this is what I have. And it's a very similar color. This one has all of the colors blended in, and you can see like kind of the highlights and the lowlights. But the base color is really similar to the wig that I'm already using. And this is what my front of this wig looks like. This has Velcro that's just been hand stitched all the way along the hairline. And so when I travel with this wig, I have just an extra piece of Velcro that I lay down on the Velcro that is a permanent part of the wig. So this has been stitched down permanently, and this is just a cover for travel purposes. But the idea is, I'll take it all off. It has this like weird jagged hairline because that's where the edges of the crown are. Like these cuts match like kind of the shape of the front of that crown hairline. So the crown is a permanent part of the wig. Well, it's removable for travel, but then I put it on all as one piece. And so the crown is just like sitting on the wig, and it's rigged to the wig so that the wig is supporting that weight. And it's actually really, really wonderful because it balances the weight of a very long wig with a well, it's like a low ponytail, but there's a lot of hair in the back that adds a lot of weight. And so if you're just wearing a back heavy wig, it'll slide back throughout the day. You have to secure it really, really carefully. And there's just a couple other challenges associated with that, just making sure that, you know, you don't hurt your neck throughout the day by wearing something super heavy. And the weight of the crown balances that out so perfectly that it's like, I couldn't have planned it better, because it actually just sits on top of my head and doesn't even really need to be secured. I mean, I do secure it, but it's like the weight of it is just balanced well enough that it takes care of itself. So anyway, this is how it looks. Looking at the inside of this wig hairline, you can see these like patches of other colors, and those are the highlights. This is the pattern of the hair color and how it is attached to the base of the wig itself to create this highlighted pattern. So I'm going to do kind of something similar when I'm adding the gold or like the blonde wefts in. I'm going to put it in like smaller patches rather than rows, but at least for the darker color, I'm going to just kind of attach it in rows and let it blend in with the other colors that way. this one, I think I also attached some extra wig clips to it. I might do that with this one. I'm gonna experiment with some stuff and see how it balances on my head, but I don't know that all of that was necessary in the end. And then I'll end up making these hair tubes again. This is actually just all hot glued onto basically like a brown cord. So I was reasonably happy with these. I didn't attach them at the best angle. So when I approach this new wig, I'm gonna put it on my head and actually like hold the things out in the position where I want them to lay so that they don't bunch up around my ears or like twist or do weird things, because I had some issues with my original wig. So those are some of my planned upgrades. One of the problems that I had with my original wig is that because it's in layers, I had a lot of hair coming out of the ponytail and coming out of like these lower sections where I have this guy. Oh my, it's like partly covered in this like wig. I don't know what you call that, the netting. Anyway, I'm just gonna leave that on for now because I don't need to mess with it. But anyway, my new wig will not have layers, and so it will be less prone to having portions coming out of like the ponytail sections, and so I won't have as much out of place or like sitting weird afterward. I hope anyway. Alright, so setting that aside, we'll go back to this one, and I think I'm ready to start stitching. I have my needle and thread here. It's a curved needle, which is exactly what it sounds like. My friend Pro Jared has just started watching. What a creep. What a creep. That guy's creeping on me. And thank you all for kind words about my wig choices. I think this is going to work out really well. Okay, so now I'm just lining this up with the edge of the existing weft. I'm just going to start stitching. Oh, I guess I could or should put some fray check on this. I should have done that while I was talking. I'm going to clean this up just a little bit. I've got some fray check right here. This is, well, it's like it sounds. It prevents fraying by just kind of locking the threads together. It's kind of like a glue, but I'm just going to dab a tiny bit right here. Zingalers says, can I get the chat's thoughts on man buns? I assume that we're all hair enthusiasts if we're watching a wig stream. My thought on man buns is that they can be tastefully done, but they are not always so. So I guess I would say feel it out with your individual style. I do appreciate a good man bun with the right aesthetic. But it kind of is, it's going to vary from man to man, and that is my official opinion on man buns. Oh, weird man, thank you. Calling me a Heidi enthusiast. Calling himself a Heidi enthusiast, my bad. Alright. So now I'm just going to stitch it down. I'm going to anchor my thread to itself rather than to the wig, because it's not like, oh wait, no I can't do that, haha, because I messed up. No, that's fine. It's gonna be okay, you guys. These wefts are tight enough to hold the knot. I was concerned at first. But anyway, up top where this wig is really dense, I'm just gonna stitch it directly to the weft below it, rather than to like the elastic portion where the wig is more open. So at least for this portion, that's what I'm going to be doing. Oh, you want the main camera raised a bit? Okay. Maker Geek, I can do that. I can accommodate this request. I'm showing off the rest of my messy room. Oh yeah, that is a little bit better. And I can maybe bring it... This arm is very difficult to adjust and get good results. But hey, I think this is gonna work. So yes, I'm all for that request. I think that is gonna help. Okay, cool. Good? Can Jared rock a man bun? Asks Jesse Highwind. No, he cannot. Jared has never had hair long enough in his life, that I know of, anyway. Jared's very particular about his hair. He likes to stay on brand. So this curved needle, the shape of it just helps me kind of get in there. It's really useful for when you're stitching against something like this wig head. So that it really kind of returns itself. But there you go. Oh, Melinda says she's seen ads for tie-on man buns. It's so good. Where it's like, yes, I don't actually have a man bun, but I just want one for the aesthetic, the man bun aesthetic. You know, I support people experimenting with their look and finding what works for them. I'm all for that. So I find it hard to take a hard no or hard yes stance on man buns because I feel like they're very subjective. Jared should wear a man bun wig to see. Well, here's the thing. Well, okay, I guess a whole wig would be fine. A man bun tie-on would have to be tied to, at the very least, a man ponytail. Why does there have to be a distinction? Like, why is it a man bun and not just a man? A bun. That's a bun. Sorry. A bun is a bun, right? This song is too slow for me. It's killing my vibe, even though it's Chrono Trigger. Sorry, guys. Next song. Oh, that's right. Yes, Arda does have hair buns. All right, well, maybe Jared will be struck with the inspiration to try his own hair bun out, and we'll let you know. You'll be the first to know. Looks like PH High is coming here looking for a different kind of man bun, or PH Hal, sorry. There you go. And hello, Ferocious Intentions. Welcome to tonight's stream. Yes, Anna saying that her husband used to have long hair, but he chopped it off, and they still have the hair. Yes, you can stitch that to make wefts like I did on the last stream. And then what you should do is turn it into a man bun clip-on and then clip that bun back onto his head. See how that goes. Okay. Oh, my needle is getting slippery and it's like a struggle to jam it in there because my hand is just like slipping on it instead of directing it. That's the unfortunate part of the curved needles, is that I sometimes have trouble controlling them. There we go. Now my thread is like in the middle of the hair. Okay. I don't usually do it on a wig head, but I thought it might be a little bit cleaner to do it that way this time. So that's what we're going for. There we go. Alright, looks like Anna's husband has vetoed my idea, which is unfortunate. Hi, Meg Marie Gaming. Yeah, I thought about taking a regular needle and then just bending it so that rather than being curved, it's like an angled needle. They probably sell those, but I don't have one. So let me take a quick look at my needle collection over here. Actually, I'm going to do one other thing, just check on my air conditioning. It's getting kind of toasty in here. Alright, let's see how we do with bending this and hopefully not breaking it. It's gonna be resistant. Oh, they do sell them? I know I have a lighter in here. I'm wondering if that will help me bend this without snapping it. Alright, hey, I have a bent needle now. So let's see how this goes. Huh, I wonder if rubber gloves would help the grip. I don't have any gloves on hand, I don't think. And my hands would get really sweaty since it's already hot in here, so I'm gonna avoid doing that if I can. So now I'm gonna try this out with a bent needle. My thread is still right in here. Mason, thank you for following. Welcome to our Zelda wig stream. Alright, let's see if I have a little bit better luck controlling this one. Oh, I also need to adjust my weft. Well, that didn't get through the base wig. I might try taking this wig off of the head and seeing how I do with that. So I can get my hand underneath, and yeah, I just like poked myself. Great. Cool. Yeah, at least for this section, I don't think I benefit from having it on the wig head because I am stitching directly to the weft itself. If I were stitching to the elastic, it would help me more to have it on the wig head because it's kind of creating that spacing for me and where the wefts need to line up with the vertical elastic parts. But since I'm not working on that part right now, I'm actually going to remove this from the wig head so I can get my hand underneath it and have a little bit more control over where the wig is going. Alright, so I had 3 pins in this, and I just removed them all. I'm being careful to support the lace. I'm just going to lay this down over here. And this guy can just be out of my way. Finger condoms, oh my gosh. I forgot about finger condoms. I don't own any finger condoms, but, you know, why not? That seems like something I could use. Hey there, Twilight Princess Midna. Oh, and thank you for the follow. Great times. Bye, head. That's right. So now I'm just going to get my hand under here and have a little bit more room to work. And I could actually probably switch to a straight needle at this point, but we're just gonna keep working with this and see how it goes. Because I just got it bent. Oh yeah, that's great. That's just great. Much better. So at least for this portion, I'll do it off of the head and then get that head back up here when I move on to doing the wefts that are more open along the elastic. So these stitches can be kind of big. Oh, hey there! Army of Ancients donated $2. Thank you so much, Army of Ancients. I appreciate the tip. Unlike stitching with fabric, it doesn't have to be like tiny neat stitches because it's not going to be seen. It just needs to be securing it. So I'm trying to avoid doing my usual super tiny stitches and then ending up spending like days on this. Because I do need to do other things before now in Dragon Con. So. My Supernova Sunshine, yes, I got my hair cut recently. I cut off like 10 inches. And then last stream, I sewed my cut hair into wefts. So like this hair that I'm adding to the wig, I basically did the same thing with my actual hair. I'm gonna lower this again since now I'm working in a different space. There we go. You get to see my lovely laptop and all of that too. I guess I can move that out of the way. So yeah, I'm just gonna be hanging out and hand stitching tonight. Hope you guys are into that or whatever. You guys can keep me company. So I'm just trying to keep my hair separated out so that it's not getting caught in the stitching or anything like that. But ultimately, you kind of have to resist the urge to constantly fix it and just deal with the fact that you're going to have to fix it at the end. I'm glad you guys are here for hanging out while I hand stitch. This is going to be fun. And I made it through my first drink, so I'll have to go get another one in a little bit. But I'm at least going to stick to water for a little while so that I don't lose my ability to coherently stream. We're almost to the end of this guy. Oh yes, Midna's wig is daunting in its own way. She has so much hair. Cool. So I made it to the end of the first row. I'm going to back stitch and then I'm going to tie it off. So I'll do both. Alright, and there goes the first row. So I'm going to carefully snip my thread and not get any wig fibers in that. Looks good. Today I spent my day earlier working out my Dragon Con lineup, which I'm pretty sure is going to include Zelda for sure. Squid Girl for sure, assuming that I get new props in time for that, but my prop guy assures me that's not going to be a problem. And 2 new costumes, that only one of which I have to make. So I'll have more announcements regarding all of that soon, but for now, just know that I'm making 1 new costume. It's going to be hopefully a pretty quick project, but otherwise just re-wearing other things. And then for the first time, maybe not ever. I'm gonna be wearing someone else's costume, or a costume made by someone else, so I'm excited for that. I'm really looking forward to wearing something that I don't have to make. They will still be beautifully tailored, so. I am tying off my thread. I really like this thread conditioner. I think that it did help the consistency of the thread, because usually when I'm doing this kind of work, the thread will get like twisted up and kind of create knots in itself as you're sewing, and it's just really frustrating. But the thread conditioner has kept everything really smooth, so good impulse buy, Heidi. Nice job. Oh, good night, Melinda. Thanks for hanging out. I will hopefully talk to you more soon. All right, so grabbing my comb over here, I'm going to separate my next row. Make sure I do it without creating too much unnecessary agitation in this wig. Mary Rose Twitch, thank you for following. Oh, you know what? I'm sure having it on the wig head would be useful for now. But I don't. Maybe I'll set my wig head up off to the side. And I can use it to separate hair. I think that would be a good bet. I'm just going to set this back on the wig head, and this will be slightly off camera for a second while I separate my next row and start adding it in. Don't worry guys, I'm still right here. If anybody has any questions, this is just going to be kind of a chill hangout stream, so it can be story time if anybody wants it to be story time. I'm in the mood to chat. And I'm going to keep drinking, so, you know, maybe it will get good. So I've sectioned off more hair, and it needs to be tamed a little bit. Once again, I'm always brushing from the bottom. You can't really see this part because I don't want to move the wig around too much. But especially as you're separating hair in sections, like it can create a lot of snags and things like that. You just want to just handle very gently and as little as possible. Is usually my strategy for wigs this long. The last time I did Zelda's, it was kind of a mess. And I did my very best to keep it from getting too tangled. And it turned out just fine. But throughout the process, it can be a little bit stressful as you're seeing your wig fibers kind of get all wonky. I'm continuing to brush this out and just kind of get this part to lay smooth together. Okay, story time. Benjamin Siv, good story. Digging the chill vibe, says Mundane Magpie. Well, thank you, Magpie. Welcome. Oh, my friends. My friends are good friends. Alright. Sweeping this aside. Again, I'm trying to resist the edge. I already can't talk. I'm not even drunk, I swear to you guys. I'm trying to resist the urge to just keep brushing this and like work all of it out because it's just not gonna happen. So instead of that, I am going to clamp all this off and then just not touch it. Grape ape kind of night. Alright, well, I am going to get myself another beer because I deserve it. And because that's the kind of stream it's gonna be. So I'll be right back. And then we'll stitch all of this together. This is a good opportunity to show off my Game of Thrones themed bottle opener. Awesome. Hey Viggy, welcome. Also, Homeskill Sam says yo yo yo. Hello to both of you guys. Ferocious Intentions is drinking along with energy drinks, it sounds like. Hi, Whale Facts. Welcome to the stream. Okay. So now that my wig has been appropriately sectioned out, I'm gonna bring it back into view so you guys can all enjoy it with me. And I'm gonna measure out how much hair I will need. Oh, Make Your Geek is also working on Dragon Con stuff. Awesome. Modding a 99-cent lightsaber while I visit the stream for Gender Bent, The Force Awakens Rey cosplay. That sounds awesome. It's gonna be cute. How's it going, Heidi? Heidi's doing extra good now that I'm drinking beer. Today was good. I was actually really productive today, which has not been the case for recent days. And this is just going to be 5 inches again. But today was awesome. I was super productive. I did a lot of stuff. And now I'm rewarding myself. But also staying productive. Yeah. Alright, I've got my wefts here. Measure out 5 inches. Try to not let them slide everywhere. Cool. So far, so good. And folding them a little bit definitely helps, though. And then just separate. There we go. Without too much trauma to either section. It's good to just have like areas laid out where you can set stuff down when you're working with long wefts so that you have kind of the ability to maneuver. Everyone's talking about how they met their significant others. In middle school? That's kind of crazy, but awesome. Okay, Jackie's working on Cruella de Vil, Vanellope, and Spinelli from Recess. Oh my gosh, Spinelli was my favorite character by a lot. She is the best Ashley ever. Whalefax is charcoaling. Did a cow, but it looks like a polar bear. Polar bears are white and cows are spotted, usually. I mean, I guess not always, but usually, right? So put some spots on that cow. Why am I doing a second wig, asks Viggy. I'm doing a second wig because my first one just isn't in very good condition anymore. it had a lot of hairs get pulled out from like the ponytail areas, and I just know that there are some improvements that I can make on it, so I'm making a new wig. Hey there, Evil Crash donated $2 saying, once upon a time, drunk Princess Heidi streamed to her subjects and overcame any social awkwardness. Also, Jared turned into a frog. I don't know. Yeah, it sounds real. Jared would be a cute frog. I would still kiss him if he were a frog. Thin One Tiger, oh no. Used too many symbols. Oh, that's cute. Anna and Within One Tiger both have anniversaries. So is that today for both of you? I might have missed that. But awesome, and congratulations, if so. I'm already making a mess of this. I think I might take this from the other angle. There we go. So I'm going to work in the opposite direction this time. But it actually is probably a little bit easier to see now on my camera. So here we go. Oh, hi, Aaron. Aaron says that he made a mask out of leather by reading one of my tutorials. Well, awesome. I'm glad that that was helpful for you. Did you, like, put it on your face while it was wet and squish it down on, like, your nose and all of that? Let us know. If you guys have watched a lot of previous streams, Aaron actually was on one of my streams. We were doing leather work with our other friend, Anna. So that was a fun streaming day that you can actually watch that in my stream archives on Twitch if you want. Oh, that's awesome. So Anna Petty has been married for 9 years. Within One Tiger has been married for 7 years. That's awesome. Congratulations to both of you. Ow. Hi, Lil Pei. Welcome. This is for Labyrinth. Oh, Aaron, so you're going to Labyrinth. Is your mask, is that, I take it? Okay, so it'd be easy to manipulate the leather with water, I take it. Cool, cool. Well, good luck with your Labyrinth costume. I should be there at least one day. We'll see if I'm there both days or not, but Jared said he would go to the ball with me. Kale Lois, thank you for following. Drunk Heidi and needles are scaring you? Don't worry. I have flawless command over this needle, although I am thinking about switching to a regular straight needle now that I have it in hand. Just because this is a big pain in the ass. Aaron is going to be at Labyrinth on Saturday. Okay. I am leaving for Dragon Con like super early Monday morning following Labyrinth, so I'm not sure if my Saturday night is going to be... It's not going to be very crazy if I have very much of a Saturday night. But anyway, I'm switching to a straight needle because I just can't handle these curves. Can we turn that into a meme somehow? That guy who's all like, oh, I love normal looking curvy women. That was the most obnoxious thing I've seen all week. Okay. Alright, well, I guess the rest of my stream is just gonna be me awkwardly hand-stitching this stuff and drinking beer. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. I look French with this bob. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that certain hairstyles were associated with whole countries, but you know what? That's awesome. I like I like hearing that, I guess. And yeah, this is easier to control with a straight needle. This is just, it's what I need, I guess. Ice Princess, Elsa, Zelda, have a lovely evening. Thanks for joining us here, even if it was just to say hey. Newly, this isn't a fancy turtle. Well, it's kind of a fancy turtleneck. It's like a hoodie, but it's like a cowl neck hoodie. I like this hoodie so much. I wear it all the time. But here we go. There it is. So I'm not that fancy. I mean, it's Target. Is this wig darker? It is darker in the sense it doesn't have highlights yet. Who was asking that? Army of Ancients. So yeah, this is slightly darker than the wig that I have on my reference photo. Because I haven't had, right now I'm adding the darker color. So I have medium and dark tones right here. I also have a blonde color that's gonna get mixed in, so. What am I drinking right now? I'm drinking this beer. This is Red Trolley Ale, which is brewed in San Diego, apparently. But it is the best beer that I can find at my local Target, which is not saying very much. Well, thank you, Jeremy, for compliment on my turtleneck sweatshirt. Alright, I better keep working. I better not get distracted. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about Dragon Con this year. Stoked about wearing costumes that I don't have to make. I'm stoked about... I've got a lot of stuff that's either commissioned or just that I'm like trading for friends or like wearing for friends, I guess. So that's fun. Blue is asking for a recap. Yes, we are making a new Zelda wig, and I'll just tell you about it. I'm making a new Zelda wig because my old one is a little bit beat up, and I want better for myself. So that's what we're up to tonight. I'm just sewing wefts into the wig itself so that it will have different colors in it and kind of have this low light highlight effect. So right now we're adding the darker color to the medium color, but it will have highlights as well. And Nulio said that he's finished with his project and he's just sitting around because he's too lazy to change the thread in his machine. That's the worst. You're the worst. Everyone peer pressure him into working. Or not. You don't have to, of course. But, I mean, if you're going to type into the chat about it, then we're going to make fun of you. Now, I do the same thing, though. I do that all the time. Anna, I would love to come back to Wisconsin and visit you guys. Have some spotted cow. Isn't that what the Wisconsin beer? Mundane Magpie is asking me if I enjoyed living in Texas. I did. Let me just fold this under because I cut it a little bit too long. Yeah, I liked Texas. I lived in Arlington for most of the time, which is in the Dallas area, but not like actually Dallas. Peer pressure is required. Oh, awesome. Yes, we got peer pressure. It looks like he's changing his thread color, guys. We win. Victory for productivity. Scrubsworth, thank you for following. Welcome to our stream. Let's see. Questions. Yeah, Arlington was awesome. I really liked the fact that Dallas has a lot of like the specialty stores that you would need for cosplay. Like they have a Reynolds where you can buy casting supplies. They have like a tiny fabric district where you can get specialty fabrics, various ones outside of just like Joann. So stuff like that. I liked living in Arlington. I like living in California more for other reasons because it's a more liberal political climate, and just has a lot of benefits for lots of different reasons, but mostly because those are my views. So let's see. Maker Geek asked if I've been to the Masquerade Ball before. I went once last year, and the costume that I made is on my website. If you want to see it, you can go to atelierheidi.com. But I made this gold leather armor last year that was really cool and fun to wear, and I really need to set up a photo shoot for that. But I had a lot of fun at the Masquerade. It's really cool because, I guess I can just describe it for those of you guys who've never been. But it's like this, it's sort of like a convention in the fact that you can walk through this large area where people are just kind of mingling and moving around through different sections, and they have different ballrooms with different things going on in each ballroom. So like, some of them have stages set up where people are performing music or dancing. Others are more like free-form areas where people are dancing to like music that's being played. And Homeschooling Sam is asking if I'm talking about the devil's lettuce. You know I am. I totally am. Anyway. Within One Tiger is saying that they just got a serger machine and they don't know how to thread it. Well, it's not as hard as you think, and if Nulio's still watching, he can tell you that I recently peer pressured him into threading his serger, so I will do the same to you if you need me to within One Tiger, and I will tell you it's not that hard. It might have a diagram. If you look at the front of the machine, a lot of them have like a hinged panel that folds down. If you open that up, you should check that and see if there's a diagram on the inside, because a lot of the time there is. Anyway, there you go. I'm talking about too many different things. Army of Ancients is asking in the chat if I went to UTD. Yes, I went to UTD for 2 years, and then I left school for a while, and then I went back to school at UTA. So UTA is where I actually graduated from, but I went to both schools. And sergers are not that intimidating. There's a lot of thread in there, and it looks very complicated, but with a little bit of trial and effort. Trial and error? That's what I meant. Well, both. Trial and effort. All of that is what you need, and you can figure it out, and I have faith in you, and you're gonna do so great. So, get back to me once you've done so great and you've got it all worked out. My thread is coming apart. Army of Ancients went to UTD too? That's awesome. What did you study there? I was a visual arts major when I was there, so I was studying painting at the time. But my final degree was in theater. I just didn't study theater while I was at UTD. A good but inexpensive sewing machine? Yeah. Where did Newly go? He has a good inexpensive sewing machine that he was describing to me. It's like one of those heavy-duty Singer machines that apparently can sew through like shit tons of layers. Okay, Army of Ancients studied comp sci. I remember that being like the biggest. I'm gonna get fresh thread. That was the biggest major in the whole school when I was a student at UTD as well, so it's probably still that way. My Supernova Sunshine, congratulations being productive, getting rid of shit. It's a good feeling. UTA is UT Arlington. Hi Kitten, welcome to the chat. What was I talking about before? I've jumped through several different topics very quickly, mostly because I've been drinking. So if I didn't finish my my story, just remind me. Oh, I was talking about Labyrinth and walking through different areas where they have different performances going on. And in some cases, the performers are moving through the crowd. In other cases, they kind of have a clearly defined stage area. And it just kind of depends on what you're watching, and things change and move throughout the night. So you can just kind of make your rounds through different sections and get involved in different dances, or just watch different like comedy routines and music and dancing and all of that. And it's really neat. And it's just a lot of atmospheric stuff coupled with like at a con, I spend a lot of my time just talking to other cosplayers. It's that same kind of environment where you're surrounded by people who, for a large part, made their own costumes. Not every single person, and that's fine, but a lot of people there are costume designers or makers or whatever. So it's a really cool place to go and meet people and talk to people about their designs and their techniques, and there's just lots and lots of really cool things to see, both on stages and just on other people's bodies and what they're wearing and what everybody has. So I'm really looking forward to it this year. My face cam is a little bit blown out, but I don't care. Hopefully you can still see me in all of my whiteness. All right. So I'm going to brush this out a little bit because it's just going to drive me crazy if I don't. But I promise not to try too hard. Okay. Oh, it looks like my attempt to fold this end under was not successful, so I'm just going to clip this little extra piece out. It like didn't all get secured. MP Laffy is going to bed. Well, thank you for joining us. Have a great night. Sleep well. Alright, once again, I'm grabbing my hair pick and I'm just going to section out the next chunk. I'm doing like every other row since they're so dense. It would just be a huge amount of hair to put in every single row. So instead of that, I'm doing every other row, and then we'll check and see how it looks after I've done a few and make sure that I'm happy with the density. But hopefully we aren't just like completely overloading this wig. Because this is already a lot of hair. The Arto wigs are already very thick. And then on top of that, I'm adding 2 packs of wefts. So that's potentially a lot. Now, I wish that these Toriel wigs were available in this silky hair. I don't think they are, as I looked. This is like the classic Artifiber, which has a little bit more friction, which makes it a little bit more ideal for short wigs rather than long. But it's gonna be fine. It is what it is, and my wig is gonna be fine. So that's not an issue. How are we doing here in the chat? Within One Tiger was asking for permission to post pictures of the serger. Yeah, Kitten, if you don't mind permitting her, then please go right ahead. Kitten is asking, am I just adding hair for volume, or is there something more? So this is my second round of making a new Zelda wig. That's why we've got Zelda up here in my my little photo. There we go. There, that photo. So I'm making a new Zelda wig, and what I have that I'm starting with is a base wig that's one color, and I'm adding highlights and lowlights. So right now we're stitching in a darker color, and then we'll go back and add highlights as well that are blonde to get that like super extreme highlighted look that Zelda has. Oh wow. I'm looking at Within One Tiger's tweet. So this is a totally different kind of serger than I'm used to. I wonder how old this is. This is really cool though. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about this. Is this like an industrial serger or is it just really old? It's really cool. Okay, I see that it doesn't have the panel like I mentioned, but it does not resemble other sergers that I'm familiar with. So I apologize that I can't offer you help with that, but I'm sure that you can figure it out with some trial and error. I still have faith in you. And yes, that is a beast. But best of luck with that. If anybody has any suggestions or information for Within One Tiger that could help her set that up, I'm sure that that would be greatly appreciated. Alright. I'm just going to gently brush out the ends and try to get this, just trying to prevent any kind of bigger tangles from forming. I'm wondering if I should try to space it a little bit differently because there's like intermittently short wefts and long wefts. I think I'm going to space it on top of that one just so that I'm not having to peel up this short weft and have it be constantly getting in my way. Alright, so now we have this sectioned out. And I'll just clip it to kind of keep it together. I'm going to go ahead and put in one more row and then I'm going to take a step back, look at the wig that we have so far, see how the color is blending, and kind of evaluate whether I want to keep going in this area or add hair to another area because I want it to look balanced overall. So I don't want to just work in only one only the middle center section because the way the wefts are arranged is that there's rows kind of in the center of the head going like this, and there's separate rows on the side going down this way. So I want to make sure that the hair is distributed throughout all those sections. But good so far. Alright, now I've been doing 5-inch wefts and they seem to be pretty perfect, so I'm just gonna cut another one and not necessarily, I think it's gonna be the same. Alright, so I'm gonna step over here where I've got my hair laid out and cut 5 inches of this weft. Be right back. Here, I'll show you what I'm doing first, is that I'm going to kind of shake out the wefts a little bit. This is like a long folded section. This is fun, right? You can see it. So the hairs are kind of like, they're all just like hanging together, and that's what makes it tangle when you try to cut off a chunk from like the top thread. So the more that I can like just let these hang freely, the less I'm going to struggle with having it all tangled up together. So I'm just going to lay this down. Oh, well, it's going to slide off no matter what I do, so I'm not going to do that. Alright, I'm going to backtrack, fold a little bit back up onto itself. And kind of fold up the extra. And now lay it down. So hopefully it doesn't slide. Okay, so it's not sliding too bad this time. And I said 5 inches, which is about that much. There we go. I'm so nervous about letting this get too tangled. So now I'm... There we go. Got that separated. Without destroying it, I hope. I'm gonna have to revisit that. Oh, this is the struggle of long wefts. But I'm probably not being as careful with them as I could be. Alright, I'm gonna shake this out a little bit more. And fold it up. This is so stressful just dealing with this much hair. Okay, here we go. I should probably like lay this flat next time I'm doing this. I think I'm going to approach it a little bit more systematically, but it's just really hard at the beginning when there's so much hair. Okay, once again, I'm just going to start smoothing it from the bottom. There we go. Alright. So now this is reasonably detangled and smoothed out. Got a couple loose hairs that I'm just abandoning to the wind. I'll lay it out there. Okay, how are we doing here in the chat? What have I missed? Yeah, and within One Tiger, it does look like an industrial machine to me, although I'm not that familiar with industrial sergers, but it looks more like the ones I've seen than any of the domestic sergers that I've used. So yeah, that's a good idea to take it to a tailor and just see if anybody is willing to help you. Jackie's asking, what's the biggest prop I've ever made for a cosplay? Well, I don't make very many props, so it's kind of a small, slim pickings, is that what they say? Not a lot to choose from. The one prop that I did make that was somewhat large was a staff for Rorona, from Atelier Rorona, which was one of my early cosplays. And I had a cool light up staff, and it was like my first time resin casting, and my first time doing lights, and my first time... only time doing a prop, and it was okay. It was fine. It wasn't like anything to write home about, but that's why I'm not a prop maker. I've never had hair quite that long. The length that my hair was very recently, before I cut it, was just about as long as it's ever been. And I've had it that length before, but I think my hair just doesn't really like to grow past that length. Like most people have what they call a terminal length, which is as long as your hair can get before it just kind of stops. And I think that for me, mine is like boob length. Oh no, I have bad news, you guys. I broke a fingernail, and now it's really jagged looking. And normally I wouldn't care to tell you on my stream, but the problem that this is going to create is that it's going to get snagged on every single one of these wig fibers. So, with that in mind, I am going to go get a nail clipper because it's going to drive me insane otherwise. So give me like 2 minutes and I shall return to clip my nail. You know what? I'm gonna clip my nail off camera and then I'll be right back. So 2-minute break and I shall return. Alright gang, I'm back. My nail is cut. It's smooth. We're ready to keep stitching. I've never seen crazy beyond floor length hair. Is this like real life Rapunzel kind of thing? Twin Peaks, that's right. Order is restored. I'm feeling much better now. Alright, so I'm just gonna hold this in place with my thumb and start stitching. Alright. Welcome to this riveting stream where I just like hand stitch for 3 hours or whatever. Oh, it's been 2 hours. Well, I didn't start right at 7. Does anybody know what time I started? I don't remember. I was late today. I was starting to get set up, but then I got a little sidetracked. Everything I had going on. I had one of my friends give me a call, so then I sat and talked with her for a while. And then we just started when I was ready. So I don't remember exactly how long we've been going. Yeah, that's crazy to try to fit like floor length hair under a wig, like to braid it up and have it under a wig cap. Even having like like boob length, chest length hair, I guess you could say is what I had. That was even a struggle for me, although my hair is really dense. So I'm really, really excited about having short hair now and being able to tuck it up really easily. My thread is starting to tangle. I got a longer thread this time. Yeah, it's not 100% cooperating. Got like a wig fiber tangled in it. Interesting. Alright. There we go. Yeah, sorry, I don't have the uptime command. I really enjoy having short hair. I have zero regrets about cutting it at all. It's been great. I love it. Okay, people are saying I've been streaming since like 7:30. That sounds about right. 7:30-ish. I wasn't terribly late, but just not on time. Yeah, my hair is long enough to go in little pigtails and also little braids. I can actually still do 2 French braids because of the way that it's cut. So I like it. I like that I can still do things with it. And I can put it up. It's just not all of the bottom parts like to stay all the time. But I could do like a little half up, and it's cute too. In fact, I think I will, just to keep it out of my eyes a little bit, although I still have my bangs. Oh, Ferocious Intentions has too much hair too. Yeah, even if your hair is short and it's really thick or it has a lot of volume, it can be quite a struggle to put it all under a wig cap. Some of my friends have the same issue. But at least my hair was manageable. When it was really long, there was just a lot, and that's always kind of a struggle unless it's super thin. But I'm lucky that now with it being really short, I think it's gonna be a breeze, and I can just like use these kinds of hair, like hair nets, I guess. Wig caps, that's what I'm trying to say. Sorry guys, I've been drinking. Wig cap is the word I need. Oh, Within One Tiger, are you heading out? Have a good night. And here we are on my favorite song of this playlist. Yeah, I really like the mesh wig caps. I started out using the nylon wig caps for quite a while when I first got into cosplay. And I didn't realize how awesome the mesh ones were because it kind of puts your hair up for you. So when my hair was super long, I still had to take care on how I braided it to make it like lay as flat as I could get it against my head. But now that it's short, I think that I'm just going to be using those mesh wig caps to just throw it up whenever I need to. Mundane Magpie made an orchestral remix of a Final Fantasy IV song. That sounds awesome. I really love the Final Fantasy IV soundtrack, maybe even more than a lot of the other Final Fantasies. Although it's hard to argue with 9 that has well, all of the games have callbacks to other games, but 9 is especially like just a callback to all of the previous Final Fantasies. I'm elbowing my wig head in the face over here. Ha! I can jam along on my oboe. Oh my gosh. I don't have any reeds for my oboe. It's been probably 10 years almost. No, yeah, 10 years. It's been 10 years since I played the oboe. 5 is your favorite? I have never played 5. But I have friends that really like 5. FF9, yeah, FF9 is my favorite. Zidane is the best. Zidane is so hot. I like how Cloud and Squall well, just mostly Cloud and Squall kind of establish this pattern of having this brooding hero who's really emo. And then Zidane comes along and he's just like really nonchalant about everything and just like, I don't know, I like his energy, man. I like how he just doesn't try to be cool. He's just like, whatever. And I like that he just like hits on Dagger because he likes her, and he's just like kind of a brat about it, and I don't know, I just think he's really cute. As opposed to previous heroes who were like, oh, I'm so handsome and aloof, and I'm not interested in you, even though you knew that they were interested in each other. And it was just annoying. And Zidane is just like, yeah, whatever, I'm interested in you. Oh, sorry, Mundane Magpie got snatched by Nightbot saying no links. If Kitten is still around and she doesn't mind, she can permit you to share a link, and you're more than welcome to. But it is automated to not allow links just so that we don't get, like, unwanted links to dirty things. But anyway, that's one of reasons that I like Final Fantasy IX so much, is because Zidane is the hero of my heart. He's just like a dude. He's just like hanging out. He's not trying to be cool. Like Squall. Alright, so Mundane Magpie sent a link to a video. I'm not going to watch it right this second because it's going to trigger, well, I guess. Here, why don't you all listen to that on your own? I'm more than happy to have you share the link and for everybody to get a chance to listen to that. I don't want to play it on the stream in case there's copyright issues and then it messes with my my final video, because sometimes it will get muted. So sorry about that, but you're more than welcome to share your work, and thank you. And I will check that out as soon as the stream ends. Yeah, Vivi was my favorite also from Final Fantasy IX. Well, I like a lot of the characters, but Vivi is one of the most endearing characters in that whole mess, and he's so cute. Vivi deserved better. Leonovid, welcome back. Nice to see ya. How's your night going? Aiko's cutie? Oh, Aiko is very cute. Even though she's a huge brat. And she's really annoying at first. But I ended up liking her a lot. I also have a soft spot for Quina. I love Quina. Jared makes fun of Quina. Quina, I would take the time to make Quina powerful and give Quina, like, some good attacks. And then Quina became useful in my party. And like healing spells, there's one point where Quina can learn, I think, a pretty good healing spell that heals everyone, and then over time it kind of gets overpowered by other things. You kind of level up past the point where it's useful, if I recall correctly. But if you learn it early enough, it can be really good for your party. You made Quina and Vivi get married. Well, don't they kind of do that automatically to get past that one point where only married people are allowed? Oh my gosh, that's like the most hilarious fan fiction trope. I guess spoiler warning for Final Fantasy IX, but they go to a town where they're like trying to get past this town to continue their quest, and the rules of this area state that only married couples can progress through a certain point of the town and go on to like the other side. And so the characters all have to marry each other, and it's like straight up fan fiction. It's fan service is exactly what it is. So, you know, you can probably guess how that goes. But it's like, oh, fake marriage, ha ha ha. And then Quina and Vivi get married, but then not actually. Oh, Leonovid is going on a trip to Newfoundland? That sounds amazing. I've never been there before. Alright. Tying a knot in my thread. I feel like that did not really spoil the enjoyment from Final Fantasy IX, so no apologies. Not many people have ever been to Newfoundland. Newfoundland? How do you pronounce that? Where's the enunciation in that word? I don't know. Alright, so folding over the next section of hair. And in fact, I'm going to continue adjusting this because that's just how it's going. It's going differently than I imagined it would initially. But I want to make sure you guys can see what I'm up to. So my apologies for vomit cam as it all moves around. Newfoundland, says Army of Ancients. Awesome. Alright, so separating... Oh wait, no, I said I wanted to check out the wig first. So before I actually move on to just laying down another row of this dark hair, I'm going to flip it all back over and just look at it. See how this is going. Now I might thin out this front section because it is all really heavy with this like base wig color, but before I make that decision, I'm just going to hold it up. Shake it out a little bit. Yeah, I think I'll end up thinning that section just so that some of the other tones will come through. And I'm going to give it a quick comb through with the wide tooth comb. Which I set down somewhere around here. Oh, it fell. That's why. Okay, we're back. You can see some of the darker tones in this wig already. I don't know if it's apparent on the face cam, I guess, where you can see it right now. Alright, now I'm going to show you guys where we're at. Yeah, you can see those darker tones in it now. That's actually looking pretty sweet, if you ask me. Mundane Magpie is asking if I have any channel recommendations for binge watching. I do. On YouTube, it's Internet Comment Etiquette with Eric. I think Commentiquette. Well, that's his screen name other places. I don't know what the whole thing is on YouTube. But if you search Internet Comment Etiquette, you will find it. And it's a guy who has lectures, you could say, on how to leave proper and respectful internet comments, but what that actually means in practice is that he's basically a professional internet troll, and he is very good at his job, and he's very funny, and I highly recommend watching all of his videos, just every one of them. So that's a really good channel to binge watch, and one that I've been enjoying a lot recently. Okay. In fact, that's probably what my night is going to consist of whenever I get too drunk to keep streaming. And I'm creating tangles. Alright, now I've been putting hair into the top mostly, and I want to switch tracks, literally, and start doing it on the sides. Or I guess realistically I just need to start putting it lower. Thank you, Potion Seller. Ferocious Intentions is asking, have I ever had or heard of anime scented candles? I have not heard of anime scented candles. What makes it anime scented? Is it scents from animes, like based on characters or something? That still seems a little weird. Because characters would, like, what does a person smell like besides other things in the world? Anyway, you're gonna have to clarify that for me, probably. Okay, it looks like pretty much... Oh no, I guess the tracks start going horizontally from here. Here-ish. So this is where I'm going to switch over, and I'm going to start doing... I'm going to start adding hair to the sides of the wig. I guess realistically for the style of his hair, I want it to be pretty much even throughout the wig. Sorry, I'm like thinking to myself and talking out loud, but this is where I'm going next. Which is basically starting at the temples, which is where the tracks on the wig start going horizontally. That's where I'm going to be working. Yes, Commentiquette is so funny. No, this is not my hair or real hair. My Supernova Sunshine is asking, missed some streams. So I did make my own hair wefts recently, and they're right here, and I'll show them to you because I want to. Here we go. So my hair wefts that are made out of my human hair, here we go. They're right here, and look. See, this is just exactly where they came apart. So these are the hair wefts that I sewed out of my real hair, which was down to about here, so you lose a couple inches in the process. But so this is what's left of my hair that I got cut off now from my human hair that I grew. So this is the human hair wefts right here. I think my colors in this, and well, kind of in both cameras, are a little bit more dull than they are in real life. But you can see, compared to this, these are obviously much longer. This is synthetic hair. This is a whole synthetic wig and wefts. But, you know, it's interesting. And I can understand the confusion because I've been working on various different things kind of all in a row. So, there you go. Okay, Ferocious Intention says that the anime scents are scents that are associated with certain characters. Alright, well, okay. That, you know, that could be cool. Mundane Magpie is watching the Weed Channels one. It's a really good one. Oh, My Supernova Sunshine, that's totally fine. I'm just explaining because, you know, I'm sure other people have that question too. Good beer. Well, it's okay beer. Alright. So I'm setting things aside. And you know what, I'm going to put this back on the wig head because I'm a little bit afraid of just creating a huge mess when I try to separate this out. So my apologies for being mostly off camera for a second. I don't want to keep bringing this wig head back onto the camera because it's not really necessary except intermittently. So just bear with me while I brush this out and then separate it and try not to create a huge mess, if I can. Oh, but yeah, once I've got this all like laid out, okay, I'm gonna show you some. You can see the color blend and how it is blending in much better. Hey, this is what's going on in the rest of my room right now. Yeah, you guys can just watch this. How about that? So, I'm not sure how apparent it is on this camera because, again, the colors and the lighting are a little bit wonky compared to what I can see in real life, but there's definitely some pronounced low lights now in here. So that's great. Yeah, I could probably use, like, well, I'm not even using a detangler, but you can get silicone sprays and spray your wig with silicone, like actual silicone, and it makes the fibers just slippier, able to slip against each other more easily, and kind of just reduces friction in the wig, which is a pretty common wig trick among cosplayers. And I have some of that, but I have not yet sprayed this wig, which maybe I should have done before I started. We'll see. Cool. Alright, well again, I'm just getting caught up brushing it too much. Yeah, this is a really long wig, but Zelda has really long hair, so it's accurate. My first Zelda wig, I started with a shorter wig and then added longer hair to it, and that's what created the layers, and it ended up being a mistake, and I regretted it. So this time I'm starting with a super long wig, and it's all gonna stay super long. And I don't think I'm gonna need to remove any hair from this because it's supposed to be really thick. And it is, so, you know, perfect. But I really like this color blend that we're getting. I think things are going very well. But I just want to mix it up a little bit and make sure that my hair isn't all concentrated in one area. And so to do that, I'm going to start separating it out. And once I get this figured out, I will bring it, or separate it out. I will bring the wig back onto the table, and you'll be able to see a little bit more of what I'm actually doing. I'm just kind of going in small sections to try to avoid creating a lot of tangles. So pardon me while I move carefully, but I'm just going to be brushing / parting this wig for a couple minutes while I get all of it set up. So yeah, I think I'm getting to the point on the wig where it will help to have it on the wig head still. Well, maybe not for stitching this exact section, but very soon I'm going to switch over, most likely. If anybody has questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. Bombsay wants to know how to make your eyes look smaller. Black eyeliner. Yeah, putting eyeliner within your waterline is not generally recommended. I mean, a lot of people do it. You want to be careful and make sure that you're using like eyeliner that's sanitary and not really old or anything like that. But a lot of people think that eyeliner makes your eyes look bigger, but it actually doesn't. It makes them look smaller. So if that's your goal, that's one way that you can approach that. And when I say eyeliner makes your eyes smaller, I mean like if you just do a basic ring around your eye, that makes it look smaller. You can do various different shapes and exaggerate sizes through contouring. But just basic eyeliner does make your eyes look smaller, even though most people expect it to have the opposite effect. It draws attention to them, but it still makes them look smaller. My Supernova Sunshine, did I make this whole wig? Is that what you're asking? I did not make the wig. I'm adding color to it right now so that I have multiple colors within the same wig. So I did not make this, but I am in the process of customizing it and kind of tingling it along the way. I'm trying my best to not, but just kind of not succeeding here. I just created this whole mess. How do I eliminate worms in my herb garden? I don't have the answer for you, bro. Fungal gnats. Alright, well, hopefully someone here in the chat can come through for you and give you some advice for your fungal gnats. Best of luck. I like this song a lot. Alright, so we're done here. I got it sectioned off. I'm gonna bring it back to the table and let you guys actually see what I'm working on. Okay, we're back. Here we go. Ways to minimize tangling on the underside of a wig. Using that silicone spray can help, but honestly, you just want to try to avoid handling it as much as possible for a really long wig, and I don't have any special tips because I haven't had any really good solutions. Oh, Nulia's heading out. Alright, I'll miss you, Jeremy. Bye. Have a good night. Thanks for chatting with us. I like seeing you in the chat. Alright. I love seeing how kind everyone in the chat is to each other. You guys are awesome. Making friends, being polite. Jesse Highwind says that Jared needs to update his Heidi emote. Yeah, he does. I have short hair now. It's got to be reflected in the canon. Good night, Jeremy. Good luck with your leg hairs. I hope they survive. Okay, I'm going to take up a little bit more on this side to get kind of a clean go of that track. Because it's kind of a point where corners meet. Here we go. So that exposed a slightly cleaner weft underneath. I still need to pull up a little bit more. Probably won't be streaming for tons longer. I'm going on like 2 hours-ish. Probably keep it up for, I don't know, maybe another half hour. I'm most of the way through my second beer. We'll see how long I get before I'm no longer making sense. Foghole, that's cute. There we go. Bombze is saying this is their first cosplay. Super nervous because they have a girly voice and putting on makeup, so it'll look like a trap. I'm not certain. So I take it you're going to be dressing as a male character. I gather. Correct me if that's incorrect. I don't have any particular tips for like doing male makeup because I haven't really cosplayed as any male characters. You can look up crossplay tutorials that are aimed specifically at like making feminine features look more masculine. And that would probably be a good search term to start with. But if anybody here in the chat has useful information for that topic, please feel free to share. Oh, my supernova sunshine heading out. Is that it? All right, have a good night. See you later. Yeah, Synchraphy is saying crossplays are very common. Like, conventions are such wonderful, like, welcoming environments. It's very rare. I mean, there's always some insensitive people or people who just don't get it. But for the most part, no one will look twice at you for however you are dressing, period. Because people are just there doing things that are outside the norm in all kinds of different ways. So I wouldn't be too self-conscious about that. Whereas, okay, so Bombze is cosplaying as Joker, that's right. Okay, well, I mean, you're gonna be great. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what you sound like, because it's just mostly photography. And yeah, you're interacting with people in public, you know, in person. But I don't think you should worry too much. I think that you'll be good. Oh, Indiana Jones, thank you. And Hannah's saying that this chat is considerate compared to other chats that she's been a part of. That's awesome. I'm glad that you think so. And it's all due to you guys being so polite to each other and just decent humans. So thank you. Bombze, if you have more specific questions, you know, we can try to help with that. But I don't think you should try to make your eyes look smaller, specifically because anime eyes are so big and exaggerated. So I feel like no matter what size your eyes are, like, big eyes are good for anime characters, period. And if, yeah, this is a video game, not technically anime, but it's very much an anime style. So you shouldn't worry too much about that. But yeah, Bombze, we all believe in you here in our chat. So if you're feeling nervous, maybe do a makeup test so you can have a test run and see how you look in the costume and see if there's anything you want to improve. I always find something to improve, like my second round or second or third or fourth rounds wearing a costume. I find little different things to change in my face or my approach, my makeup, or even just like little fixes on the costume. So it's definitely worthwhile to do a makeup test, especially if you're feeling uncertain about the costume or you're not sure how you're going to look all dressed up in it. So, yeah. Give yourself room to practice, especially if you're feeling nervous. Just giving yourself a practice round with like makeup and dressing up can make you more prepared and less nervous, less anxious. Commando DS, thank you so much for following. Alright, I'm gonna grab my wefts and lay them out here. Alright, I'm kind of afraid of just creating more of a mess here, so I'm just going to cut off a chunk. And then if it's not perfectly the right size, then so be it. I just need to be working with a smaller piece right now because it's making me really anxious to mess with that at all because I know that I'm just creating tangles. So I'm going to cut off a chunk and then work with a smaller piece and lay it out, and hopefully everything will be okay. Okay, I'm back. Let me check on the chat. What's everyone talking about? Hopefully giving good advice here to our other cosplay friends. Yeah, Bomzay, if you're afraid about your makeup, then just do some test runs. So don't put the pressure on yourself to do it right the first time. Like, check it out, see what you like, see what you don't like. Take photos of yourself and then look at the photos later, and then you can see, like, you know, if you need to change things or how your makeup photographs and what you know, what you can do better for the next round or what you don't do or don't like. And yeah, Synchraphy is saying no one's going to judge you on makeup since there's always beginners along with veterans. And that's very much true. Like, you see people of all skill levels at cons, and when I see, like, younger cosplayers, I'm not standing there thinking, like, oh, they should be so much better. Like, you're in public, you're around people of all ages and people of all skill levels, and most people are not elitists like that. Army of Ancients, thank you so much for the $5 tip, saying, going to bed, thanks for help with the worms, especially whale facts. All right, whale facts. Shout out to whale facts for the worms help. For the worm facts? Anyway. But yeah, don't worry too much about it. You know, it's always... I think there's room for improvement with any cosplayer, and the community, for the most part, especially in person at cons, is very welcoming. And, you know, you'll meet people that will just accept you at the level that you're at. People aren't going to be being super elitist about it, just like as you're walking around. You'll be able to make friends. He's scrolling back down. Oh good, Bomzay's feeling better. I'm glad. Is it okay to take medicine an hour and a half early? It depends on the medicine. Every 12 hours, and it's an antibiotic, anti-inflammatory. Whale facts, I would say stick with your doctor's schedule. Even a few hours can change, like, the rate that it's releasing at inside your body. And I think it's probably just best to stick with your doctor's advice. I'm not a doctor, but I think that in general, sticking with doctor's advice is a good plan. Anna says, yeah, stay within the hour. I would say so too. Hey, Pug Llama, welcome to the stream. Oh, the con is in 2 days, Bomzay? You got this. You totally got it. 2 days is plenty of time to practice makeup. But I'm excited for you to go and cosplay. Is this your first cosplay, or is this your first time doing like a male cosplay, or this is, I think you said your first one ever, is that it? Alright, I'm spending too long just detangling my wefts. Oh, I'm doing my best, you guys. I'm trying so hard to not make tangles, make a mess. But I'm inevitably still making a mess. But I've got this one ready to go on, and this is like extra long right now, so I'm just gonna stitch it until I get to the end and then cut it. First cosplay ever, says Bomzay. Alright, well, I believe in you. Good first cosplay tips. Definitely wear makeup. Check your makeup in advance. We talked about that. Have you tried on your costume? You know everything fits and all of that. Definitely do that. Give yourself a test run. If you don't have pockets, make sure that you have some kind of bag that like somewhat matches your costume to whatever degree. You don't have to do anything special, but it's good to carry around a bag that has like emergency stuff in it, like any kind of makeup that you might want to do touch-ups with. Like some powder maybe or something like that. It's good to have water and a snack. I like to bring like granola bars or something along that line, like that you can just really quickly snack on and keep in your bag, because it gets really exhausting to cosplay and you want to take care of yourself. Pink Girl talking about sewing secret cosplays into all of her costumes. Oh yeah. I try to make pockets whenever it's feasible. Not every costume it works with pockets. Like Zelda does not have pockets, but I can get away with carrying like a small purse that's not too obnoxious looking, I guess. Oh, that's awesome, Leonovid, talking about making a circular shield that has a portion of it that's removable to be a storage compartment. So I have that squid cosplay that I'm making, or that I did make. You guys saw it, probably, a lot of you. If you follow my social media, squids are all over it. So there's that, but I'm commissioning the ink tank and guns from a friend of mine who was making those props. And I asked him to make my ink tank into a functional backpack, so I'll be able to open it up and like stash stuff in there, whatever stuff I want, my phone, my wallet, room keys, beer, because Dragon Con and you need to. So as much stuff as I can shove into this ink tank, I absolutely will. Bomze, good luck, and no problem. Thank you, Leonovid. I am excited about having an ink tank backpack. I'm gonna separate more of this hair out. Okay. Ink tank into a beer tank. Yeah, I thought about, depending on how sturdy it is, what if I just fill it with ice and then I just walk around with beer on ice all night and I just grab new beers out of it? I would have to have someplace else to put like my wallet and keys. Although the little shorts that I wear with the Inkling Girl have like a little they're like athletic shorts, so they have like a really tiny, almost invisible pocket in them. So that you can put like your keys, like if you're going to the gym, you'd be able to put like a card key, or like a single house key or something like that in your little pocket. So I could do that for my essentials and then have just like beer on ice in my tank. I'm so excited about this. I'm gonna do it. Twin Peaks is asking, is the squid head comfortable to wear? Yes, aside from the weight, it's kind of heavy, so I have to just like wear it in limited amounts of time. But other than that, like it's reasonably comfortable to wear. It's not like really hot or anything. No, the silicone doesn't breathe, but at the same time, like it's just, even in hot weather, it just wasn't that bad because my hair was all up off my neck at the very least, and the clothes are really comfortable, so I'm not like sweating tons, and my head didn't get like super hot or anything. I didn't sweat really in it, so. The ink tank, just a beer tank. What if I had it? I'm not gonna do this. Hypothetically, what if my gun was just like a squirt gun that was connected and I just had beer on tap? You know, I could probably get a Camelback and just fill it with beer and then have the tube running out of the top of the tank and then just be like, hey, and then squirting it into people's mouths and stuff. Yeah, that sounds great. Cool. Good plan. A box of wine. A box of wine on tap, but I'll have to have like a tube or something. Anyway, thank you guys for enabling my alcoholism. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not. But Dragon Con, I think, is a time that we all celebrate our love for alcohol and costumes. Not everyone, but a huge portion of those who are at Dragon Con are drinking and partying. So, Bombzay is heading to bed. Alright, Bombzay, good luck on your cosplay. We're all rooting for you. You know, take our advice to heart and just have a good time. Don't worry too much. Don't get anxious about it. You're gonna be great. Oh, Maker Geek, that's really smart. Use dry ice to save weight. But wouldn't that create, like, the dry ice kind of fog? That'd be interesting, but not necessary for my costume. But that's interesting. Yeah, it's smart that it turns into gas instead of water. That's very smart. Kitten, Indiana Jones is requesting link permission. FYI. Oh no, Bombzay, it's so late. Yes, please, Bombzay, you can tweet at me or tag me on Instagram. Just let me know. Show us your costume, and then next time you're here in a stream, you can feel free to ask for link permission and then share a link of how it all turned out. And we'll be excited to see that. Yes, Fanime is another party con. I had so much fun at Fanime. And Dragon Con is like that, but even way more so with the partying. Okay, so Indiana Jones has a link to how to hide wine. Oh, the wine rack! I'm gonna need a small. So it's wine tits. So you have, turn an A cup into double D's and sport your favorite beverage for yourself and your friends. Better than a boob job and cheaper too, not to mention saving on overpriced drinks. The puns here are ridiculous. Take a bottle of wine, a mixed drink, or even a fifth of your favorite hard stuff to the movies, concerts, ball games, even PTA meetings. Wow. Sporting a rack that will turn heads and serving a beverage will have guys standing in line for a sip from your secret stash. That's all I've ever wanted. Oh my gosh. That's so ridiculous. I need it in my life. You know what? That'll look great under my bodysuit. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Catch me with my wine rack at Dragon Con. Thank you so much for the link. That's hilarious. That is really funny. And yes, I'm gonna be disappointed now if I don't see one of those. Oh, Anna's like, I think that would make the wine warm. I think you're right. But also consider, Anna, I'm like an A cup right now. Like, I don't have big boobs that are like gonna be sweating or heating up or anything like that. Like, I've got an almost flat chest. I feel like if I've got wine strapped to the outside, it's not gonna be extremely sensitive to my body heat. Breast wine. Yes, thank you, Ferocious Intentions. And you can breastfeed from your wine rack. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna apologize to everyone right now for this conversation. This is not wholesome. Wee woo! Big ol' wine boobs. Yes, thank you, Whalefax. That is correct. Just big ol' wine boobs. Oh, I did not properly section this out. Well, thank you all for contributing to tonight's big ol' wine boob conversation. Jesse Highwind says, people have preferences. I like flat chests. Flat is justice. I appreciate that. And yes, people do have different preferences. It's okay to like them big or small or however they come. I like small boobs too. I mean, I like big boobs too, don't get me wrong. Like, they can all be very good. Disaster Jensen, welcome to our wine tits conversation. We were just discussing ways to sneak wine into Dragon Con, except it's not sneaking because everyone's just openly drinking. But, you know, ways to discreetly pack wine in your cosplay experience. Wee woo! Lee Novid, no, I haven't been watching the Metopia, but I have been hanging out with Ross and Holly in person and talking to them about their wee woo emotes, and Holly just saying it aloud a lot, and so that's where I heard it. It's just straight from Holly's mouth. It's easy. Starbucks cup, says Disaster Jensen. I agree with you. I'm also a simple man. I like to just have my drink in my cup. For Dragon Con, I like to do themed cups so that I'll have, like, my superhero mug, or I have one that looks like a lightsaber now, which I don't know when I'm going to get more use out of that. But, yeah, I like simple solutions. But, you know, now that I know that I can simultaneously stuff my bra and smuggle wine anywhere that I want to, I feel like this has opened up just a lot more possibilities for me as a human. Oh, Nightbot is promoting my cosplay print store, as always. I guess I wanted to give out a heads up that I'm probably going to be closing that store pretty soon, just on a temporary basis. The reason being is that we are we are definitely going to be moving during September. So pretty much immediately after Dragon Con, I have to move my entire house. So that's not fun. And during that period, and probably right before Dragon Con or sometime soon, I'm just going to close down my store. So if anybody wanted to get a print, now is the time. They will be back eventually, but not until after I'm settled in the new place. So I just wanted to take that stress out of my life and not have to think about it. I'm going to try to do my best to actually be on camera with this stuff now. Sorry guys, I'm not that drunk. Let's see. Maker Geek is asking, is going to Dragon Con Wednesday or Thursday in my case, or in your case for the ball? A big thing, I didn't realize there were events before the official first day, so I'm getting there the day of. It's their first Dragon Con. Yeah, I would say that Wednesday night is decently large. Like, Wednesday night is a night where people just go and party. Like, of course people are going to be in costume. Well, I say of course. But yeah, some people are just very dedicated to always being in costume. I'm gonna move this. Sorry, guys. This whole thing is a struggle. Hey, there we go. Yeah, I think Wednesday night is a pretty big party night, but it's not a serious, like, cosplay day necessarily. I think a lot of people wear, like, casual stuff and just go to, like, party on Wednesday. So I've actually never been on Wednesday before, but I think that this year I will be because I'm going and staying with different friends. And the friends that I'm staying with this year like to go on Wednesday. So most likely I'll go to Wednesday. Probably not doing anything major, but, you know, hopefully I'll be in a place where I can relax with a few beers. Yeah. Okay. Good. I am caught up. My mom just has a giant fucking Starbucks cup she takes to Ren Fair. Disaster Jensen, have you seen the Starbucks wine horns? It might not be an actual Starbucks product. You know what? Now I'm thinking about it. Holly has one of these, and I've just seen it, like, hanging in her house, like, on her coat rack or whatever. But it looks like one of those plastic Starbucks cups that's, like, Starbucks branded, but it's a drinking horn. It's just made of plastic and shaped like a horn, but has, like, a normal, like, coffee thermos top. And it's really funny, and it's kind of perfect for Holly. But if your mom doesn't have one of those, I think that would be a wonderful choice for her Ren Fair get-up in particular. Tell Holly that's metal. I will. Alright, I want to make sure that this side is relatively clean. Alright, it is almost 10 p.m. where I am. I'm gonna sew to the end of this, and that's probably gonna be the end of my stream because I don't want to get too tipsy on stream. I've still got work to do tonight. I'll probably hang out and continue drinking, but at least I'll be doing it on my own time. I don't have to worry about being silly on the internet. But thank you guys so much for keeping me company over the last couple hours while I stitch this. I'm excited to have this wig coming together and hopefully looking like the final product soon. I'll probably do maybe more wig streams because this is a good way to keep myself focused between now and Dragon Con. I'm not making anything big for Dragon Con, so even if I just keep doing a couple Zelda wig streams here and there, I think that'll be a good amount of work to put into it between now and my deadline. So cool. The elusive white girl butt. Disaster Jensen, are you looking at my Instagram? Mariah T, thank you for following. Alright, Anna is getting sleepy, gonna leave the chat and lurk. Well, that's fine. Thank you so much for joining us, Anna, and hanging out and chatting. Hope you have a good night. Like I said, I probably won't be going too much longer, so I'm going to stitch a few more inches and then also call it a night, at least where streaming is concerned. So I can go be a mess in my own time. Oh, good morning from Germany, says Z Chaos Design. Good morning, Z Chaos Design. Unfortunately, you're just chiming into the end of my stream here on the west coast of the United States. But it's been a good night. Oh, you were the one that posted that on Facebook, says Disaster Jensen. Well, thank you. I appreciated that comment. It made my day. Disaster Jensen, thank you for the follow also. Alright, well we got quite a bit of this darker weft sewn in tonight. I've still got quite a bit left to add for the lowlights, but I want to kind of go in with the highlight and see what the overall color balance is going to be before I commit 100% of my dark wefts into this wig. So this is probably what we'll be working on for the next couple of streams as I get this wig all sorted out. This is going to be for Dragon Con. I just wanted to have a nicer wig for Dragon Con. I am going to be wearing Zelda for sure there. And like I said, probably also the squid and some new costumes that will be announced soon. But I'm really excited for Dragon Con. It's going to be kind of low-key for me this year. I'm trying not to get too ambitious with my own plans. And hopefully I can just prioritize having a lot of fun. Disaster Jensen says that he follows me on Tumblr and then found out who my husband is. Well, yeah, that guy, he's funny. He's quite the character. Oh, Twin Peaks is heading out. Going to bed. Thanks for the stream. Have a good night, morning, all other times of day. Well, thank you, Twin Peaks. Thanks for joining us one more time. Hope you're enjoying this season of Twin Peaks as much as I am. You've been a Jared fan for that many years? Well, that's pretty awesome. I've also been a Jared fan since he was at Screw Attack. Alright, I'm just tying this off, and this is going to be the end of the night for me. Before I call it quits, I'm going to brush this hair down and show you the new color composition of what we've worked on tonight. Just adding, what, like 4 rows of wefts is I think how much I got in tonight during our stream. Has already made quite a difference, and I just dropped my needle and all of this crap. There it is. Don't worry guys, it's okay. It's going back in my pincushion right now, so I can't kill myself or stab myself in the eye. We're alright. Alright, so this is now down. Just gonna kind of release this hair. And once again, I'm going to start brushing it out from the bottom. This is what I mean by brushing it from the bottom, where you just kind of start low. And whenever you get like actual little knots and tangles, oh, and I just brush that. You don't want to like tug on them with the brush, you want to just lightly pull them apart. And this will probably be okay. It's like, it's getting kind of, like the hair is getting kinked. From getting tangled with itself. So I might end up like just gently going over the ends with a flat iron, depending on how much of a problem that is in the end. Or maybe because it is going to be braided, maybe it won't be a problem at all. We'll see. So here we go. This wig has evolved. It started out being all this like light brown reddish color. Now it's got quite a bit of the darker color in it to create a much smoother look with the highlights and the lowlights. Salem Kitty, oh, you're here! I'm just about to finish my stream, but today I added a lot of wefts to this wig, and now I'm just brushing it out to show the new color variations that we've got. So this is round 2, version 2.0 for my Zelda wig, which is why we've got that Zelda picture up on the side. And basically I just wanted to redo my wig so that it is in a little bit better shape for Dragon Con, and I can have a nice clean one with less straggling hairs and things like that. So right now I'm just trying to brush all my wefts together now that I've added a ton to this wig. And now I'll show it off. This is probably overkill, but I like to brush them. Oh, you're looking for a picture of Aries for reasons, were you, Kitty? Well, thank you very much. I like your reasons, because they're usually art related. Alright, here we go. I know my camera is kind of killing the colors a little bit. It's a lot more vibrant. I think this face cam is a little bit more accurate to the color here. It looks kind of dull on this top camera. But anyway, you guys can use your imagination. And you can certainly see that there are now highlights and lowlights in this wig. We got different colors working in together. This is my other color. Well, let me just kind of rearrange some things here. Here we go. So this is my highlight color, this blonde. This is Custard from Arda. So this one is going to go in next, and this is going to probably change it a little bit more dramatically too, to add those blonde highlights that are a big part of Zelda's look in Twilight Princess. So that's where we're at, is that we've got 2 out of 3 colors now together. This will probably still get more of that dark tone, but I want to make sure that it's like added through really even, or not necessarily evenly, but strategically in such a way that it looks right. So I'm going to probably do some more of this off camera just so that I can move it along. But But I will keep working on this on streams and keep updating you guys with how it's going and kind of the shape that the wig is taking and how the colors develop as I add to them. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. It's been a really good night. I got a lot done and feeling pretty good about how this is going underway. And I think that this wig is going to look better than my original Zelda wig because I've got experience now that I've learned from doing it the first time. So thank you guys for joining me. I might do another stream tomorrow. I've been slacking on my Thursday streams. I've been slacking on my Saturday streams too. But I want to try to be a little bit more diligent and stream a little bit more. So hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow if I can muster the energy. And you can tweet at me to peer pressure me to stream, and I highly recommend it. You know, but don't worry. I've only had 2 beers. I won't have a hangover, but you know, I will take care of myself. I'm not going anywhere. Anyway, I hope you all have a lovely evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. If I do get that stream going, then I will for sure see you tomorrow. If not, I'll see you Saturday, but I got a lot to do, so there will definitely be streams. Alright, everyone, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Yeah, no problem, Maker Geek. I hope to see you at DragonCon, and good luck with all of your preparations. Thank you, Kitty, as well. Thanks for coming to the stream, even if you only caught the last minute. Ferocious Intentions, thank you. Oh, and tomorrow's your day off? Alright, well I better stream for you then. I hope to see you there tomorrow. Alright, good night everybody.